Hello! So I have a microblog reading here for you today, and this one is called Plane Watching. The sun blinked out like an old movie slide changing, and the light bathing my belly-open book switched gray for a lingering moment. I looked up at the baby blue sky to the reinstated radiating light, so bright I squinted to make out the plane that had just crossed the sun. Do you ever wonder where they're going? I like to think of the people inside, their stories, where they're headed. He asked me a variation of this question every time we watched the planes. We'd eat Chipotle burritos in the parking lot across from the airport, windows down a little before dusk, watching the metal birds glide in, perfectly aligned like an endless string light reaching out to everywhere. My answer was always the same: no. I replied blankly as mixed emotions began to compile. I had shut off the part of me that saw the potential for more than just the average day-to-day good. A penny on the sidewalk, nice weather, simple joys within my immediate surroundings. Getting on a plane to a place where I'd never tasted the food or an ocean-separated home. No way, Jose. The gap was too big. I felt sad thinking of all the business people hopping around the skies, off to important meetings involving large sums of money. Families closing distances and coming together just for love. People like me who wanted to witness the world so bad it ached. They were the ones who felt the fulfillment of flying, while I watched from the pavement. Could my heart carry me over the hump of disappointment my mind had used to define me? I wanted to bask in the good of everyday life, while regrowing my sight for the extraordinary unseen, dreams to be realized, travels to be taken, and so much more great than my mind could ever conjure. Woo! So that one's a little bit on disappointment and hopefulness and feeling like you're that person that's watching the planes fly by while you're eating Chipotle in the parking lot and wondering, will it ever be me? And I mean, these are things that that I go through all the time, and I gotta give myself a little bit of pat on the back because, I just feel like we take a lot of energy putting up a facade of having it all together, being fucking perfect and a badass, and just looking really fucking good on paper. And I always remember when I used to go into jobs, it depended what job it was for, but sometimes I felt like my resume was amazing. Sometimes I felt like it was a fucking joke. I would have this conglomeration of stuff that didn't really make sense, and it didn't even come close to describing who I was. And I guess that just brings me to saying that no singular thing about our circumstances or where we are define us. We are always changing, we are always evolving. And lately something that's been going on is I've been packing up because we want to move. And, I've lived in Vegas for most of my life, and I am just ready to fly. And so there has to be this mix of practicality, drive to move forward, and also being able to have faith in seeing the extraordinary unseen. There are so many things about putting my writing out there, making a living as a writer, publishing my works, all the things that I want to do to get these writings out in the world, to, connect with individuals and women, to really inspire them to feel better in their lives, give themselves permission to appreciate themselves more, just generally feel better. All of this stuff, oh my gosh, just all of it. There has to be this faith, this trust, this knowing that there are going to be things and forces and opportunities that click for me that are beyond what I ever could have possibly imagined in a good way. And so I think it's okay to be sitting on the pavement sometimes, eating a burrito, and feel like you're kind of separated from where you want to be. And, letting your soul, letting everything catch up to what you're ready for. And there's something that I've started calling, and this is another microblog I'll probably read. It's called Living the When. And it's something that I've started to practice as much as I can in my life. When I think of this ideal life that I want, this extraordinary life where I'm flying on planes and I'm traveling and all this stuff, I think of like how I actually want to be living in that life. And a lot of times I tell, I have like 4 things I really, want to work on all the time. Like I want to eat healthy, nourishing foods. I want to move my body every day. So like lately that's been through yoga. I'd like to get outside, and I'd like to work on some kind of meditation or calming practice, whether that be EFT tapping or some kind of guided meditation or both. And writing, I guess that's 5. So, those things are things that it's important for me to like live the when. I think of this life where I'm in this amazing self-loving headquarters, just beautiful, like cottagey, awesome home, doing my writing, going on interviews, having my books published. Oh my gosh, maybe now it's like, going to be adapted to a screenplay, it's going to become a movie or whatever. But I think about like the things that I need to do for myself in order to like cultivate that person that's going to be living in that life. And the foundations of that are those things, are grounding myself with like some kind of like spiritually soothing practice, like meditation, tapping, doing my passion, like making that a solid habit in my life without the self-sabotage and procrastination, being able to sit down and focus on my writing regardless of what is going on in my schedule, like to always make the writing the priority. And also to like move my body, drink tons of water, and like nourish my body with healthy food, because to me, those are the physical components that are gonna like love my body through all the stuff that I wanna do in this life. And I feel like those other things click into place with much more ease and grace when you live the when you live in the way that you're going to be living as these things start to come together for you. Let's just say for us, because I certainly want that too. So I'm going to leave all the links down below if you want to join us in the Patreon community, and all of the things that I offer there are designed to help you make the space for your own inspiration to flow through. So all those things I was just talking about, the foundations of really being able to create what you want in this life, everything I offer there is for that. It's for that nurturing, that soul soothing, being able to close the comparison channels, open ourselves up to our own creativity in this life. That can be within a job framework or without, in your relationships, in your creative work, and all of it, to live inspired, to do you, and to just love who you are. And that's going to be down below for you, and I will see you next time on the next reading.